You know, when I was first introduced to yoga, a young lady gave me her business card. She was a yoga instructor. And on the card, she was balled up into a circle. She was like turned backwards and her hands were touching her feet. There was something going on. It was like, man, I was like, man, that's pretty incredible. And I liked it. That's nice. But, really serves me no purpose to keep your card because I'm not flexible like that. And I know that, many people have had that same thought, like, yoga's cool, but I ain't really flexible. But you know what she told me? She said, you know what, Akhu, yoga's not really about flexibility at all. Yoga's about strength. Now that intrigued me, my friend. So when she told me it was about strength, I was like, okay, I'll try it out. I like strength. Tried a little strength. So I go try a yoga class. I did it. It was pretty decent. It was okay. Whatever. Yeah, great. Thank you. All right. Maybe 3 months later, one of my neighbors was like, yo, I'm going to do some yoga. Want to do some yoga? I'm like, yeah, I do some yoga. I did it before. Did a little yoga. Like, okay, cool. Okay, I got it. Yoga's pretty good. Okay, it's cool. Whatever. It's something to do. Maybe about a year later, I think I did yoga one more time that year later. Did that yoga. It was pretty good. And I was like, this is kind of fun. I actually like it. There's a lot of women here. I love women. Women are great. So I'm like, yeah, I like yoga. It's a lot of women involved. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to come back to yoga because there's always a lot of women involved. Anyway, I continued to participate in yoga. And the problem was that while I was in the yoga classes, the yoga was so challenging, I couldn't even look at the women. And it's like, man, you know what? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Do I feel like being challenged like this? Do I really want this just to look at women? You know what I mean? But when yoga practice was over, the benefits I felt in my body was so phenomenal that I was like, okay, next level. Let's keep going. But it wasn't until about a year or so later when I was going through some of the most toughest, difficult times of my life. Everything was going downhill. My lady left me. My uh, my business went into bankruptcy. My my apartment was my apartment was I was evicted from my apartment. Um, my money slowed down very slowly. Life was just really giving me the business at that point. However, I remember one day after feeling so miserable, so tired, so sick of feeling this way, so sick of going through this nonsense. I remember I went and turned on the television. I turned the television on that cable channel. They had a 30-minute yoga session. And this yoga session, I'm like, okay, let me do some yoga. Maybe this will do something. Anyway, I sat down. I got down. I remember being on all fours, starting on all fours. It was a 30-minute session. We did 3 poses. 1, 2, 3. The last pose we did was child's pose, which is just a resting pose. But the first 2 poses were so powerful that when I emerged from Shavasana, from my rest, or from child's pose at the end, I was in a pool of sweat, sweating profusely like I had never sweated before. And it was a different type of sweat, though. It wasn't the superficial sweat I get when I go running. It wasn't the superficial sweat I get when I play basketball or football or jog or whatever. It was different sweat. It was a different sweat. It was a purging sweat that came from my core, releasing, purging. It was like a fire was ignited in me, and it was burning out all these impurities, and the sweat poured. It wasn't like just sweat beads. I mean, it was like a river of sweat pouring down my face. And stay tuned in. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos, and on these videos, I'm going to practice yoga, and you'll see for yourself if you don't already know. However, anyway, so I did that yoga session that day. I felt so phenomenal for the next maybe 6 to 8 hours. I was like, I'm doing this every day. And certainly for the next 2 months, I did it every day, 30-minute sessions on TV. When the new year came around, that television show went off, and a new show came on, and it had one of my gurus now, Shiva Ray. Shiva Ray, she did 1 hour of yoga practice, never said a word. All she did was practice with beautiful backgrounds and great music, and it was the best. And I followed her every day for about 6 months. During that 6 months, my entire life transformed. My mind, my body, my spirit, my health, my finances, it all changed. It all began to transform. I finally was able to get back on my feet, get back into my apartment, get my vehicle repaired, which it needed repairs at the time. The relationship between the young lady I was dealing with myself had, I won't say it healed, however, I found solace within my own self. Her and I became buddies or whatever, friends, whatever you call it. Long story short, my life began to open and blossom, and it was because of this determination to practice this yoga. So what I realized was that yoga was about pressing through all the tightness, all the tension, all the stress and pain you may feel, and to press through it and breathe. Because the key to the practice of yoga is the breath. All right, so imagine yourself being clogged up all inside, but every time you send the breath into the clog moves back a little bit. Take a deep breath in and then moves it back a little bit more. Deep breath in, as you exhale, move it back a little bit more until those clogs are out of your picture. All right, so the breath is the key to it, and the yoga practice itself is the alchemy of the human being. This is how you perform alchemy on a human being. You turn the parts of you that are bronze into gold via yoga. All right, this yoga thing is very next level. It's been written on the pyramids. It's ancient art. All right, this yoga thing has been known to cure all that ails you. All right, the thing about yoga is that a lot of us have been told that it's about stretching and it's meditation and it's these gentle, nice, cool things that nobody really cares about. But the truth of the matter is that yoga is that next level, superpower, greatest thing for a human being ever type energy. You know what I mean? The yoga is if you find yourself in a space where life has pushed you to the edge and you're at the edge, go practice yoga for 30 minutes. A 30-minute session of yoga is one step back from the ledge. Another 30-minute session is another step back. Another 30-minute session, another step back, whatever. Next thing you know, you're taking hour sessions. Next thing you know, you're a yoga instructor. Yo, life work out as intended if you allow it. So you want to get back in a rhythm. So yoga will bring you back into your natural rhythm. It bring you back into alignment. Homeostasis takes place inside of a person who practices yoga on a regular basis. Set a goal, I would say, to practice yoga 6 days per strong. I mean, at least. So give yourself 1 day off, take a little break or what have you. However, continue to practice that yoga on a regular basis and see where that yoga takes you. Don't take my word for it. Don't believe nothing I got to tell you. Get on your mat. Try it for yourself. All right, Akhu, Ausar. I love y'all. One.